with EXPITALITY. I'm the founder of EXPITALITY, and I come to you on Fridays just to talk about some things that I think are worth talking about, and I hope to provide a bit of value for you. Let's talk about reviews and reputation management. So today I read an article out of Hospitality Net, and I'm looking at all of this data that they have gathered regarding reputation and reputation management and how to gather reviews and what the implications of that are. Apparently there are better reviews. And I mean, you got to read this article because there's so many details about evaluating the reviews that have come in. 70% of them come from Google. And then I think it's 40.3 or something like that from booking.com. We're talking about hotels, we're talking about restaurants, and even some Airbnb stuff, all kinds of hospitality, right? So what's really interesting, and then they mention the percentages of reviews that come from Expedia, etc. But what's fascinating to me is we're evaluating the data, but where is the data coming from? And at EXPITALITY, we don't really talk about this very much, but I'm going to share a little bit with you today about how we gather reviews for our clients. And if it's something you're super interested in, then you can reach out to me on this. But normally, honestly, we don't really share it. But imagine this, okay? First of all, think about the last review that you gave to a restaurant or anything related to hospitality. Did you not receive an email? Usually you'll receive an email or a text and you're invited to review. How often do you actually just ignore that? And what is the incentive for you when you don't ignore it and you actually go write either a negative or positive review? So the percentage of people who are actually writing reviews, they don't seem to mention that. If you took the number of people that stayed at a specific glamping resort, say, and then you look at how many reviews came from that month, I don't know what the percentage would be. Only you know that on your property, right? And so the question then comes back to, how do we get people to leave more reviews, and actually genuine reviews, not a review that is given 2 weeks later when the experience has, disintegrated out of their brain. But how do we really achieve our goals with this? So I'm going to share with you a kind of peripheral vision of what we do, and I suggest you try it. Imagine if you were at a glamping resort, say, and someone from our team, a third-party individual, approached you and told you that your company cares so much about the experience that the guests have that they've actually hired a third party to come in and have conversations with the guests, have conversations and interviews with the guests. And I approached you as a guest and told you this, and would you mind sharing a few of your insights and your experience with me? That is one way. And then the third party, EXPITALITY, also is inviting them to attend an event, which is completely optional, but we create community events wherein we're not setting it up like, hey, we want a review or a testimonial, but it's an event based on your brand that actually creates a wonderful experience for guests to interact and share their stories. So they get to share why they came to the resort or the hotel or whatever it is, and who they were there with. Were they celebrating something? What happened to them? What kind of transformational journey are they on? What experiences happened while they were at the resort, at your property, that really made a difference to their family or made a difference in their lives and help them relax or help them know themselves in a new way? We have conversations that allow them to share at a depth that you are never, ever, ever going to get on a review, like where you're either putting a star and then you're invited to write additional comments, or what's happening now is there's like four emojis: sad, I don't know what the fourth one is, but anyway, you've all seen them, like no expression, or I'm elated, or I'm sad. So at least those three. So sorry, this is my first coffee of the day, and it's already 2:15 on a Friday. So after that, we gather all of this, we call it experiential intelligence, which it is because it's genuine feedback. And we also ask them questions, tell me about your sleeping experience. Tell me about your arrival. How did you find us? We have the opportunity through a very short, simple conversation to gather so much more quantity and quality of data regarding the experience a guest has had at your property than you could ever hope and dream to gather from even a written review. So that's just the beginning. But I wanted to share that with you because once you have that data, that experiential intelligence, then you have an intelligent basis upon which to determine how you cure those challenges, difficulties, things that weren't working out right. And it's a complete circle of delivering what you're promising with your brand. When you deliver something with your brand and it lands flat with a guest, how can you really know unless somebody complains or they have such an elevated experience that they can't wait to tell you? There's this huge gray area in between, and this is where the gems lie. So I know that a lot of people try to figure it out, and this is really where we can help. So if you want to learn more, there's a lot more involved, obviously, but if you want to learn more about that, I'd be happy to share that with you. And today's Friday. It's very late for me to be coming on here, but for some reason, the sun didn't come out here until recently, and I just didn't feel the energy to get on here. We very seldom have kind of gloomy days in Colorado, but we didn't really have much sun until recently. So I was focused on gloomy activities of like focused writing and stuff like that. Not really gloomy, but the day like presses in on you. So I hope and wish for you all the most lovely weekend. And I know that you will go out into the world and listen and inspire and lift up someone else, because that is how it works. That's hospitality. That will lift your own spirits, and we will all have a more joyful, fulfilling weekend because of you. All right, lots of love. I'll be back next week.